My name is Marco Cabrera, born and raised in Guatemala. I would live there for 18 years, born and raised over there. At the age of 18, I had the pleasure of going to the US, all with the one purpose, to further get a college education over there. So I live over there for 1 year trying to figure it out. Long story short, I live and study over there for 7 years. Wow. After 7 years, I was in Michigan, and then I was looking for a place where you can really start life, a place where you can really buy a house, get a car, like have a good. I guess the word here is have a lekker life,
a proper life. Of life, yeah.
Exactly, good quality of life, and that's when I came across on. It was January 2024. I came across an article that said Cape Town is the new American dream. Interesting, right? Because I came during Peter Maris. The first time I came to South Africa, it was during the Cabrera riots. That was the first time, but that's a story for later, right? I guess. Yeah. But then I started investigating, and not doing investigating, but just seeing the quality of life that South Africa offers. Then I understood the Western Cape, there's the Free State, the Eastern Cape, Cabrera, Gauteng, and all these places. And then I started realizing that there's still an opportunity to build a good life in South Africa.
It's super interesting that you say that the article said Cape Town's the new America, because so I'm not originally from Cape Town. I'm from up north Limpopo.
Okay, Limpopo area, beautiful.
And I've been throughout all of South Africa in my time. Like I studied in Pretoria, lived in Joburg for a year, moved here and whatnot. And I always think that like the South African government doesn't do entrepreneurship many favors. And the whole American dream is entrepreneurship. Is how does that graph go up and to the right?
Yes.
And I find it extremely interesting that Cape Town is viewed as like the new America, even though all the money is in Joburg. Yeah. But I guess what is true is like the quality of life, cost of living, all of that's super affordable and stuff. But I do wish that the South African government could do more for the people.
Absolutely.
In terms of allowing them to have the freedom to actually build up
100%.
A business and stuff.
100%. I think with the government, and I paid a lot of attention. We had a couple of conversations regarding the DA and the ANC, everything that has happened, and I think that one of the reasons why there's such a big entrepreneurial spirit is because the government keeps putting small businesses down. Or even when, let's say that there's an Afrikaners or there's an English person, someone that is white, in other words, they cannot really get a C-level executive job or a manager type of a job in most cases because of the job regulations.
In the public sector.
Exactly, right? So if you really want to provide for your family and really like give them a better quality of life than the one that you've given, the one that you had before, then you're pushed a lot, in a sense, by the system in order to have that entrepreneurial grind. And I've seen a lot of people, not youngsters like us, right? Like more seasonal entrepreneurs that they exited businesses, they done the seed series A type of funding. And then the exact same line they say is the reason why I had to be an entrepreneur is because I couldn't find a job.
Yes, it's so crazy to me that like the unemployment rate for people in the early 20s or late 20s, mid 30s, like 62%, right? Yeah. And the other thing I realized and why it's almost conflictive, the ideas there, is South Africa loves socialist ideas.
Yes. Yeah.
They adore socialist ideas, and it's understandable to an extent when I think it's like 60% of the population comes from underprivileged backgrounds, still living in rural settlements. It's quite difficult to not have a socialist mindset because there's so many people that need to be provided for. But I do criticize the government in some places. My mom, when she came from Cuba, she doesn't like Cuba at all. She thinks it's been run terribly, but she said the one thing that Cuba did right was that Castro made education mandatory for everybody. And with that education, people were able to be informed, know what's going on in the world. And unfortunately, it led to a lot of people leaving the country because you're knowledgeable enough to know it's not a good situation for you.
Exactly.
But South Africa needs to invest way more into education.
Absolutely.
Because that's the only way you're going to get out of the socialist state or the socialist dream that's going to be done and actually empower people to go and change their own lives.
100%.
But it also comes with, there's so many scandals and I don't want to get this cancelled.
It's okay. We can get political, right? But we want it to be also good, you know? Okay.
But I think there's such a big issue with like the money that's being put into infrastructure and everything being embezzled. I mean, you've seen many cases. I don't know if you saw the news 2 years ago, but there was a traffic center in Potchefstroom that the budget was 2 million rand for. And at the end of the day, the whole center was just one shipping container with 2 computers in it. But the budget was 2 million rand.
Wow.
And that's taxpayer money
Wow.
and 2 million rand. So now, where is that money gone? You're not going to convince me the shipping container costs 2 million rand. You're not going to convince me those laptops that they have cost more than 200 rand.
Exactly, exactly, 100%.
So that's the big issue. Is like there's also no transparency.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know they make the budget public and whatnot, but government spending isn't tracked.
Mm-hmm.
And then they push everyone into the public sector where they can control things, and they need to start pushing things towards the private sector and empowering the private sector. And it's not too late, right? Like I think 10 years ago, or maybe 20 years ago, go back further in time, Ireland was viewed as a disaster. No one wanted to live in Ireland. It was so poor, the people had no opportunities. Yeah. And now it's turned itself into this, not a haven, but it's like become this business sanctuary. It has the second highest GDP in the world per capita. And that was through legislative change that allowed people to move their businesses there. And you know, I love South Africa. I think it's an incredible place. And I think if you give people business incentive to come here, they're going to come and also fall in love with it. And then more people are going to immigrate here and bring in more money.
100%. And
more people, or they have to make it better for other parts of South Africa as well. Because everyone can't move to Cape Town.
Yeah, everyone is the Western Cape, right? The Western Cape, the Western Cape, the Western Cape. Yeah.
But you have to make Joburg a more safe place so people go there. You have to make Pretoria a more desirable place to go to. And I've always said, like, the Northern Cape is the biggest province with the least amount of people in it.
Wow, yeah.
Because it's mainly desert, but like, you look at Nevada, that's the same desert.
Yep.
Not Windhoek, but what's the Namibian city towards the coast? Kleinmond, I think, in the desert. So that people have built large settlements in the desert and prospered there. You know, Vegas is huge.
Yeah.
Why can't we do the same thing? You know.
You know, it's something very interesting. I come from a third world country. Yeah. Guatemala. Yeah. Like we have the same issues. I think the poorness. So when I come from a good family, but that does not mean that we did a lot of charity and social work, especially because my father's on my father's side they're doctors and they give a lot to the community, and on my mother's side they're farmers. So, like for example, they build a school for the kids over there in the farms and that type of thing, right? To make sure that they are in school and the parents are not saying like carry this or something like that. It really broke my heart when I came to South Africa because the level of the standard of living for the poor communities is harsh. And I'm like, and I've seen, I've been inside Mitchell's Plain, I've seen Kayalishta, I've been to Pietermaritzburg, I've been to those places. And you know, it's like you nailed it, the infrastructure and that there's not transparency to the way that taxes are being used. That is one of the reasons why I think that South Africa has had also so many issues. Yeah. You know, also like given it also the good side, I think the Western Cape is an absolutely it has shown the potential what South Africa can do, and really in the African continent, right? If we really see the globalization and how the markets are moving, I live in the U.S. and I really was able to understand it over there. There's a problem in the US because if you don't have enough value in the marketplace, it's very hard for you to climb to keep climbing, right? It's very hard. In Latin America, it's very similar. Like the top players are going to be the top players forever. There's going to be 10, 12 families over there. That's like getting, Africa still has, even with the Stellenbosch Mafia and all the things that have happened in the past, there's a chaos in the South African economy, and just like in the way that we are living, and even in the sense of the racism, right? Because now you see like I do boxing, right? So I meet a lot of the guys from the top echelons and the lower echelons, right? And something they said to me, especially the guys living in Mitchell's Plain, Kayalishta, and those type of places, those type of townships, right? They said that their whole lives they've been kind of like programmed to hate white people, and now they're seeing that now that is not the case, that they're not the end. So it's like super interesting also how the government and just stuff is playing around, if that makes sense. Yes. If that makes sense.
I think the racism one's a very interesting topic because I come from a town where racism is a very prevalent thing. You know, you have the very Afrikaans farmers, and then you have people that basically moved into the city from townships, like both ends of the spectrum. And I think you talk about you're kind of raised to hate the other side. I think that's very true. And I kind of explained it as, you know, if you think back, Apartheid ended now 32 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? That means the people that are now in the working class were raised with parents that were abused in apartheid.
Yes.
And what do you learn is like that trust still isn't there. And there has to be kind of more exposure to, these people are good people.
Yeah.
Giving people opportunity. How you do that, that's beyond me. I'm not a politician.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that the very online space that the world has moved to has helped at all, because it used to be that if you had an opinion of someone or some group of people, you had to go into the world to experience it.
Absolutely.
Now, if you have an opinion of someone or some people, you go onto the internet, you will find people that agree with you. And you don't have to get exposure to maybe that's not the truth. And I think when COVID came, it maybe even put us back a few years, because now I'm having bad feelings towards a group. I'm going online and seeing everyone else is having bad feelings to a group. And all of a sudden, my thoughts become facts.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, instead, going out and actually experiencing the world and seeing, okay, maybe I just over-exaggerate. Maybe it's not as true. Maybe I shouldn't paint with such a broad stroke of people. But yeah, man, it's a terrible one. I think the xenophobia is such an underrated component of it. I don't know if you've tried to work towards citizenship. Getting citizenship in South Africa is so difficult. And the reason is because we have a lot of people coming from Zimbabwe, Namibia, Mozambique, and illegally join the workforce. So they think that you have to clamp down the restraints a little bit more. And, there's give and takes to both sides of the argument on like how open should your borders be.
Yeah.
I think if you're a struggling country, especially economically, and you're not a big producer, you're more of a
You import instead of export.
Yeah.
That's like yeah.
And if you're a service-based economy as well, you have to let people in. So America, it makes sense because America produces a lot and exports a lot. Right? Same thing for China. So them having stricter borders doesn't affect the economy as much. But at least my opinion, I should preface, I'm not an economist. I don't know these things too well, but it's just my feelings towards it. But now we have people that need services delivered. We need people to go farm. We need people to harvest. So we could use the extra manpower. But that being said, like 60% of the population is unemployed. So maybe we could use more of our own resources better. But it's such a tough balancing act. I never know what advice to give on this. I think maybe the government also needs to put more regulations in place to give people from underprivileged backgrounds.
From 0 to 1.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, 0 to 1. And I'll give a shout out to the Garden Angel small businesses, because I think that I've been around, so I work a lot. I have an advertising agency, right? So I do two things. I import coffee, but the main thing that I do comes from Guatemala to South Africa. But the main thing that I have is an advertising agency focused on the travel and tourism. And if in that niche, you focus a lot on employment, right? Because you get international bookings, there's like Swiss francs, there's the pound, there's the euro, there's dollar, and it helps a little bit more, right? They can give more. But there's this guy that he built an amazing community called Mark Sham. He built the Suit and Sneakers community, and basically what he's trying to do is to be the guardian angel of small businesses. And the main reason why he wants to do this is because of two reasons. The first one is that is the backbone of the economy, and number two, and that I think is so good, is in our reality, one of the best ways to fix unemployment is just to have more successful small businesses.
100%, I agree with you.
So shout out to Mark Sham, absolute legend. Yeah, there we go.
No, I absolutely agree with that. And, there is that sense in like spaza shops and things in the townships running, but how can we get that to be employable for people and bigger? But I do want to change gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you did talk a little bit about Guatemala, and the world doesn't hear a lot about Guatemala. What's kind of the state of it right now? Like, what are some of the things that you really appreciate Guatemala for? But also, what's kind of the issues that did cause you to leave eventually?
Okay. Guatemala has one thing that I think is absolutely incredible, and it's the art of slow living. That it is, I've been in the Drakensberg, I've been around Pietermaritzburg, Durban. I've had the holidays not just on the Western Cape, but experience of South Africa. Of my partner is South African, and an issue I have I love her family, absolutely incredible. But an issue I have is that I keep saying it as a joke, right? That you're going on a holiday, your ass shouldn't be sweaty. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
But like, I go to the Drakensberg, I want to like overdose on coffee, good food, a little bit of Zama legs, Windhoek, double brandy and Coke, have a good time, right?
Yeah.
And they're more in the mentality like, let's go hike Sleeping Beauty Cave that is 8 hours away. That is, so Guatemala is a little bit of the opposite. That is a little bit more on, you sit down it's very similar to the Mexican culture, that it is that you spend a lot of time sitting down at the table and just breaking bread and just hearing everyone's story. That's the way that we connect, really. So that is one of the best things about Guatemala. My family is absolutely incredible. I have the best family in the world. They have supported me 100%, even though I'm the first son, first cousin, first grandson, first nephew. And that in Latino culture, it basically means that you're kind of like the favorite, right? In that sense. So it was super painful for them to see me leave. It was super painful. And every time that I go over there, it just hurts on the inside to leave. So I'll say Guatemala has a lot of beautiful things in between volcanoes, the people, the food. I keep telling everyone, man, when we go over there, we add like 10 to 12 kgs with my girlfriend. Every time. We just eat the entire everything, man. There's food everywhere. Like there's 5-course meals everywhere, right? There's an abundance of food. A couple of the problems is the corruption. The traffic is brutal,
really?
Especially because we have a lot of volcanoes. We have a lot of active volcanoes. There's a lot of mountains in that sense, so a lot of the roads are intertwined in all the landscape. Therefore, over here is just straight. Over there, you gotta go down, up and down, and exactly 100%.
We always made the joke when me and my brother first moved here. We moved from Joburg. And we said if this was Joburg, we would put a hole through the mountain just to go through it and say,
yeah, exactly, 100%.
But on that, like South Africans are always going. I don't know if you know this, but we have the 3rd highest average working hours per week in the world.
Wow.
Just behind the US and China.
I would think the Japanese will be like top.
You know, I think sort of the Southeast Asian countries, there's a little bit of bias in the sense of like you're legally not allowed to clock extra hours. So I know in South Korea, what they will actually do is you'll have a work laptop, but it's basically duplicates onto your personal laptop. And once you hit a certain threshold for hours, your boss will come in and tell you start work on your personal laptop because we can't charge you overtime for the work laptop.
Wow.
So they'll still continue working, but it's not clocked as hours. So there is a bit of a bias there. But I also, with service industry stuff, it also gets a bit iffy because then you have shifts. And with shifts, there's no regulation on like how many shifts you're legally allowed to take. And these people are desperate for money. So they're going to be working more and more. I do think South Africa does have a very go culture. Maybe not in Cape Town. People seem to be a little bit more relaxed here.
That's what they say. It's like they keep giving me the same advice. Marco, you have a good work ethic. Just don't work like a Cape Townian. Because they don't work on Fridays. You know, that's like that's the saying. Work like a Joburg or Pretoria guy.
Yes.
It's like, how do you cope with your problems? By working an extra day, making a little bit more money. You know, treating your lady to a little bit of a nice holiday. That's like so I like it.
When I was in Joburg, I was in business consulting first.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And there, like when I joined the company, there was immediate like, here's the ladder you have to climb. Here's how you climb the ladder.
Yes.
I came here to Cape Town, changed companies. I still don't have like KPIs at this company. I still don't know like am I doing a good job or not. And that's just like the culture here. But
that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious.
On the Guatemala thing, you know, we probably share a lot of cultural things, Cuba and Guatemala.
100%.
I had to ask, is Domino's?
Domino's. Yeah, Domino's. Yeah, man. I'm the king of Domino's. I'm the king, man.
We'll see.
Okay, we'll play, man. We'll play. This is going to be proper. I like that.
Yeah. That's like, it's such a big cultural thing. People are like shocked, like Domino's, like that. I'm like, yes. Like,
yes.
Like people will sit on the old men.
Yeah.
Buttons undone the shirt on the porches, waiting for someone to come by to play some Domino's.
Yes.
So,
yeah, 100%.
We had a divide in Cuba. Like the one side plays 6-dot domino, the other side plays 9-dot dominoes.
Oh wow, okay.
Are you guys 9-dots or 6-dots people?
We're 6 dots.
You guys are 6-dots?
6,
Interesting. We're 9-dot people.
Oh, it's okay to be wrong.
No, dude. 9-dot is so much, the game's lost longer and it's more competitive. Do you guys also, the double 9, do you guys, well I guess in your case, the double 6.
It's a big, I actually played a lot of chess. Growing up, I played a lot of chess. My father used to record me like this, and we used to play chess. And he used to say, this is where you made a mistake. This is where you thought too long. This is where you were too quick. This is where you had an impulse. And that was from like a very young age. So like you was playing dominoes more like as in the farm, when there's no Wi-Fi, there's no electricity, man. There's like they put the plant on, like we put a little bit of gasoline, petrol, right? And that's only for the fans at night.
Yes.
But besides that, it's just like we usually played it in the farm when it was holidays. But I played a lot of chess growing up.
Chess, interesting. Is Guatemala good at chess? Or
Yeah,
is it just
we're freaking good.
really?
It's very good. Very,
Interesting.
very good.
Because I know there's one Cuban.
Yes, Cuba is absolutely incredible. I
Yes.
think they're top 20 right now, like a grandmaster, if I'm not wrong, like Cuba.
Yeah. I played it when I was a kid. I did like the provincials. I nearly made essays one
Oh,
year.
wow. Okay.
And then I just stopped it. Like
Yeah.
with most things in life, like I stopped things I was good at.
You know, a good game of chess shows that you're intelligent, but a great game of chess shows that you're a little bit weird.
Shows you're creative, I would say.
Because if you really see like grandmasters, they're a little bit socially awkward.
Oh yeah, what's the guy, Magnus?
Yeah, Carlos Magnus. Yeah,
Yes,
Carlos
yes.
Magnus. Yeah,
He's a
absolutely.
strange guy. Which onto the creative side of things, you kind of work in a creative industry with
Yes.
advertising. I believe you do a lot of sales kind of
Yes.
stuff as well.
Yeah.
What kind of drew you to that industry? What made it appeal to you?
Paying the bills.
Paying the bills.
Paying the bills. So I actually started working properly when I was in the US. I was a financial advisor over there. It was I had great mentors. Great mentors, man. Great. As a young guy, I got that position and then I would try to see like the offices, right? And it's like, because I always like suits.
Yeah. Okay.
So I tried to be like it was not the Harvey Specter, but like more like the Mike Ross, like in that sense. I even like Louis Litt, man. Imagine that. Yeah. But so then one time I was going around the offices in Michigan, right? It was in Grand Rapids, absolutely stunning place, incredible.
Isn't that where Michigan State University is?
That is a little bit more north. I don't remember the exact town. Grand Rapids doesn't have like a college. It has a couple GVSU, but it's more like D2, not D1. So I was in the building, right? Beautiful building. It's incredible, right? And I was just walking around through the offices trying to see like, wow, this is cool, man. Like this is how they have it because they can remodel everything. And then I went to the corner office and then I saw the MD over there, the managing director, right? Joe Dirks. And then I just like just shoot it, being like nosy, right? Just like went in and then he was working at the time. And then he says like, because secretary was gone, right? So it was like a good luck charm. And then he says, who are you? Sorry, man, I'm new here. Like I would love to have this office one day. That's what like I can,
wow.
like not as taking your job, but as in like I would love to like climb the ladder and and like this is like where I want to be in the future. And then he loved that. And then he said, Marco, let's set up listen, I'm like, right now I'm about to do, it was Q4, I think, reports. So I need to do a presentation this afternoon, but let's set up a meeting for next week. And he even said, when are you free? Imagine director saying, when are you free, right? To a kid on like diapers, right? Yeah, in the market, right? So then he was one of the first mentors that I had properly. He was the one that like showed me a lot of the ropes. That was in the sense of how to build relationships, because a lot of people believe that sales is very much about selling shoes to people that don't have feet, and it's not like that. I think that if you do that, it's at the service. I think sales is a noble profession. It's one of the best professions.
Interesting.
I do believe that it has a bad job because of bad reps, but if you really help someone make a good decision that it actually improves their life, are you doing a good thing or a bad thing? I think you're doing a good thing.
100%. I think if you believe in the product, then sales is great. But I think a lot of people get into sales not believing in the product.
Exactly.
They just see the commission numbers and their eyes just.
And that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. And the reason why people don't like sales is because it's one of the hardest professions to actually do. It's super hard, man. It's super hard.
You see any entrepreneur.
Every entrepreneur, like for every guy watching this or every person watching this, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a salesman.
Yeah. They all say they started in sales, because in sales you have to pick up the phone, call someone who's going to call you an asshole, and then hang up, pick it up again, and repeat for 5 hours a day, and it just builds this grittiness to you, this toughness, and you can't take no for an answer.
No, 100%.
You attribute a lot of your success to your time learning under this mentor and
yeah, I attribute a lot of the stepping stones to every single like. I'm a huge believer that if that the place that you are right now, the place that I am right here, is because of all the people that have been in our past. It's because of my father, my mother, my family, my uncles, my grandmother, the mentors, the coaches that I had while swimming. Because I had a national record. I was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went to World Champs. So the goal was to be to the Youth Olympics team. I won a medal on the Central American Games. That is once every 4 years, which is the best ones over there. I went to the Central American Games. Won a gold on the CC Can. That is the Central American and Caribbean Games. That was on 2019, if I'm not wrong, 2018.
Wow.
So, and that's when I was like, so a lot of those successes is because of every single person. So yeah, man. I dictate a lot of the not success because. Okay, I haven't bought a house in Frankfurt, man. So when I tell you that, yeah, that'd be lovely, man. That is the like I've been to Frankfurt. I've seen the houses. A couple of my friends live over there, and it's wow, man. That's so when I do that, I'll be like, okay, or something like, or in Durbanville, or in Durbanville, I like it a lot. Yeah. Frankfurt, I like it. Stellenbosch is too much of a college town for me. Yeah. Or it's like too oldish in that sense.
So that's what success looks like to you, getting that house. Is that the main goal right now?
Yeah. I do want to be like a typical Afrikaners or like a typical 3-bedroom house, a bucky.
Big garden.
Yeah, big garden, braai, there we go. Beautiful lady by the side, all that stuff.
So I got 2 questions for you there. So the first one is, you mentioned, like, you just list off so many cool achievements you've done. That you've left your home country, you've gone to America, you've climbed up the ladder, you've come here, you started a business, you were Guatemala national swimmer. Mm-hmm. A lot of that is super difficult to accomplish, and I struggle with this idea of like discipline and motivation, because it feels like the things that you're meant to do just kind of come to you naturally, But on the other hand, it is also an aspect of you fall in love with the thing.
Yeah.
I heard the story from Scott Galloway talking about this Persian tiler he knows. And this guy is the best tiler in New York City. He knows tiles inside and out. Mm-hmm. It's he can tell you what the material's made out of, how it breaks.
Master. In the craft.
And he was from Iran or something like that, came from a very poor background, and now he's doing super well for himself, and he pays the bills, he's really good at what he does. And then Scott Galloway asked the question, do you think he wanted to be a tiler when he grew up?
Oh, wow.
Probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
But he started it and he became good at it, and he just kind of continued with it. So I struggle with, do you have to force yourself to achieve great things, or do you just have to follow a passion, and if you're passionate about it, you'll achieve it? What do you think is the answer? With all these things that you did so well at, was it just like you loved doing it and that's why you kept doing it? Or were you there trying to tell yourself, like, I have to be great, I have to keep going?
Okay, so I started swimming when I was 20 months.
Oh, wow. Less than 2 years old.
Yeah. And then I stopped swimming until I was 24, I think. And now I go back into swimming. So I'll be doing the Robben Island crossing, the 7th of May. I hated swimming. My entire life, I hated it, man. I hated it. So that thing about following your passions, I think is bullshit. I think you gotta find, I think us as human beings, we try to follow a lot of our passions, and that's a lot of the times that we get misguided. Because if you want to follow passion, man, I love Aventuk.
Vintuk is my passion.
I cannot be drinking 24 Vintuks every day. No, I'm kidding. I wish I could have like endurance, right? But I think that you have to find something that I think it's so hard, because you need to find something that you have a little bit of talent in, and also that you enjoy doing. That almost never aligns. Like even business is not about you being passionate. It's about the value that you bring to the marketplace, right? So like I believe like it's about like both. It's about, people say like there's the both, right? Like we all know I don't need motivation, I need discipline, right? I think it's both. I think it's both, man. I still watch like motivational videos, the same ones that I was watching also while I was swimming as a kid. The same pep talks that I give myself, the same like talks that I give to myself. It is just like swimming. The thing that swimming gave me, and being a professional swimmer, because that's how I was able to go to the US with a scholarship. Like the reason why I really swam properly, it was because my father said, Marco, Guatemala is not the place for you. Like he said to me, Marco, like you need to leave. Like it's like that, and the vehicle for you to leave is going to be swimming.
Incredible.
So I'm very close to my dad, super close. He's like one of my best friends, absolute legend, man. But he was the one that like pushed me in that sense. Even though like my family fought against communism in Guatemala, like there's pictures of the farm is being passed down for 8 generations already. But my father was like, Marco, like it looks like you are bigger than it looks like. So I believe that if you really wanna, for the people listening to this, I think that one of the best things to do is to find something that you can really like man, it's hard to have a vision if you cannot pay your bills. Does it make sense? It's like you need to like be able to pay your bills, be able to be good, be able to have like that like 6 months of your bank accounts are good so you can pay your bills, and then you can start to do your passion. That's what I'm like leaning more towards, that, because you need to provide for yourself. If that makes sense. If that makes sense.
100%. And I think what's interesting there is your father sitting you down and telling you can be more than this.
Yeah.
So I did, like I said, I did a bunch of stuff in my youth that I was good at, and I quit for no reason. I quit for dumb reasons. And one thing I did was karate. And I was
great craft.
I was on the SA team to go to Worlds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Didn't end up going because I got injured and couldn't make it.
Shit.
And then the year after I left it. And there was a bunch of guys that were in my dojo with me that I was better than, that had more work ethic than. They went on to be world champions in black belt categories. And now I kind of look back and I say to myself, I wish my mom or dad would sit me down and be like, you can be good at this, keep on going. Because I feel there's something so beautiful to actually achieving your potential.
Yeah.
And actually being a big name. And it's props to your dad to recognize that. And obviously you get the toxic side of that as well. People have had the opposite end where the parents push them too hard.
Yeah, exactly.
And didn't work out. I'd rather live with the regrets that I tried and failed and it scarred me than live with the regret that I do now of I didn't give it a try.
Yeah.
You know. The other thing I want to talk about that you mentioned was that idea of just having a 3-bedroom house with a garden and a bucky. I think there's so much attention on more right now. And I think it drives people crazy. I think people want the billions, not the millions. And they want the 15-bedroom house, and they want to be Danville's area.
Yeah, exactly. They want to be Tate.
Yeah.
They want to be Tate. They want to be like Danville's. They want to be like those senses. And I get it. There's a lot of ambition towards that, right? And I think that's when social media, right? Because I work in advertising, so you really understand the programming that is going on. And we even on the, like we were talking about it yesterday, because there was a lady from Namibia, absolute beautiful lady, very kind heart, like very good friends with my partner. And then like we were talking, I was like saying how the sexual marketplace has even like screwed things up on both sexes. And let's talk about the guy senses, because I'm not a chick.
I say that every time I record this as well.
Right? Like,
because I talk about dating a lot on the channel because I'm single and I'm trying to figure out how do I fix this problem.
Hey, I know someone from Namibia.
No, but it's like the social media part of it has absolutely ruined not just the idea of like what your value is in the market, but also what the idea is of love. I think I did one of these podcasts where I read from this study that said, I can't remember the number now, but something like 80% of people believe that there's one true love for them out there.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit.
That's a lie.
I don't think there's one true one for you. And the issue of thinking that there is one true one for you is that if there's any conflict in your current relationship or your current situationship, whatever you want to call it, you can say, I'm going to give up because it's obviously not my true love. But that's not the case. That could be your true love, but you have to make them your true love. You know. So I think that's a bit skewed. And I also think people forgot what average looks like.
Yeah, exactly, man.
People forgot what. And also, people think that looks are so much more important now because we've placed a lot of value on them. And I always tell people to do this exercise. Like, go to the if you think that like looks really matter when it comes to getting a partner, go to a supermarket and like stand there for like an hour or two and watch the couples that walk in.
Yeah.
And look at the guys. You can see they're not really that good looking.
And they have a 10 over 10, man. It's like crazy. It's crazy. And it's the opposite way around. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Oh, it's just an average looking person with an average looking partner.
Yeah.
But they're happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's much more important things to filter on that's not looks. But people have kind of lost that with social media and dating. And that's why I kind of like apps like what Jason's doing now. Like, for those of you that don't know, Jason's on a Sociable. It's an amazing app where you can meet people and build a sense of community. But like Sociable and Blom and even Thursday Dating was like getting people into a room. Because then, you pre-filter a little bit on looks because that determines who you're going to speak to and who you find interesting. When you actually talk to people, you start seeing that there's more to love than actual just looks. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the concept of a workplace plus two.
No, I have not.
So a workplace plus two is if you work with someone and say like outside of work they work in a 5, because you work with them they're a 7.
Oh, wow. Okay, I see. Yeah.
And the reason that happens is so common is because the more time you spend with someone, the more you like the personality, the more you think they're attractive.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, I see.
So I think like I agree with you, like the social media and advertising space of things have ruined people's perception of dating and what dating is supposed to look like. But I don't know how we go back.
There's no way to going back, in my opinion. There's no way to go back. I grew up, so I never had a phone until I was 17.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
So when I tried to get my first girlfriend, I had to call her house from my father's phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, imagine. And her father picked up.
Do you know you?
Yeah, he didn't know me, man. So like you see that, like if you really want the girl, like you will do those things in that sense. I think like one of the best things right now for anyone trying to find a high value woman, right? That's the term now. Is like, man, you just gotta go out there and just like be like, people say be confident, man. Just introduce yourself, like say, hey, I think you're absolutely beautiful, and just like do that, man.
Yeah.
And then you'll see, and then you start and you take it slow, and it's like a sales call. And then you qualify. Before you say I love you, right? Because I've done it, right? Like I've done it, right? There was this lovely lady, Texas, all that good style. Like it was perfect, man. And then I said, I love you, like very close, right? Like very like early into the relationship. We've been like having fun for like a lot of months, and then relationship. I said that crap, bye.
Gone.
Right?
Commitment issues.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
I heard a brilliant piece of advice on that be confident thing.
Yeah.
So the way the guy in the video said it is like, act like she's already rejected you.
Ooh,
Which
okay.
I don't like how it's phrased, because some people after they get rejected, it's like, woe is me kind of thing. Act like you've already rejected her.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because then you're just going to be yourself.
Uh-huh.
And if she's going to fall for you, it's going to be when you're being yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And I like that kind of advice. And I think people also need to realize that just because you haven't found someone or it hasn't worked out doesn't mean it's never going to work out.
Yeah.
Because I think what people do is like, they meet someone, they get interested, and now it's like, this is the only chance I have at love. I can't screw it up, so I have to act perfect. Reality is like, if you go out and meet enough people, you'll find someone that sticks, and someone sticks for you. Rather be who you are and love them, let them love you for who you are, than let them love you for who you pretend to be. Because then, one, it can come crashing down very quickly, but two, you're then one person removed from the person being loved, and you feel it a lot less. So I'm an advocate of be yourself.
Yeah.
But also,
don't be like, fine line, my friend. You have to make a show business fun, right? Be charismatic.
So the one thing I've always heard, and this is a saying I use for Christianity, but I guess it also applies to this. The saying I use for Christianity is Christianity says, come as you are, don't stay as you are.
Yeah.
Same thing with like confidence and self-improvement. Come as you are, but don't stay as you are. Just because you're enough doesn't mean you don't have to work on yourself. Doesn't mean you can't be better.
Yes.
You have value for being a person, but that doesn't mean that you can't be better. It doesn't mean you can't work on things. And like I'm saying, be confident, be yourself. If you're this dude that sits in your mom's basement, Cheeto dust all over his body, playing World of Warcraft the whole day, like,
why would a woman want you? Why would I have two sisters. If like any of those guys would I get close to them, I will whoop the absolute crap out of them, man. Like there's a reason I have a black eye, right? Like it was sparring yesterday. Like I protect them, right? Like we want a better future for them, and they like want it. They want a better future. I mean, I'm the best wingman in the world. I'm freaking Cupid, man. Every guy, like we go out, like we have a couple, man, like you get laid properly, man. That's the thing. My best friend, all this crap from the US, I'm the best in that sense, man. I'm better than Barney Stinson, dude. Like, I'm smooth in that crap. I'm smooth, especially here with the Spanish, man. Whatever, no problem. And I'll say, man, man, it is incredible that, like, those guys that you said, because I used to be one of those guys, a League of Legends guy. World of Warcraft. Screw, man, I was a League of Legends type of guy.
League of Legends guy. Can I tell you?
I used to be a Quinn, top player.
Terrible.
That's horrible, man. That's gay, even. That's like that every time I used to play it on the chat. Gay. That's like, and I'll even say like,
Wait, before you say,
please.
The funny story of how I ended up deleting League of Legends for good. I was playing. Me and my one friend from high school always played together for like 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Played together. And then the one day we've gone to a rough game. I told him, Reese, we are uninstalling this game. And we can only reinstall it when we're both married.
I love it. There we go. Perfect. That's a beautiful challenge. That's a beautiful. And I think that like if you really want to get a beautiful, kind, loving, submissive type of lady, you have to be a man worth following. You have to be, and man, this is with all the chicks say it. All the chicks say it to me. Man, I just want a man that leads. Like, he's the same. Don't ask me, where do you want me to eat? Just give me 3 options and say, where do you think we're going? And it's like, pam, pam, pam. And it's like, say, oh, this one. And then say, oh, you nailed it, baby. You're so smart. Bam. And sometimes say, no, you're wrong. Actually, this place. And then just keep it fun. But you have to be someone worth following.
Maybe a bit on this assertiveness.
You don't kind of say like, you're going to do this and clean my kitchen. No.
Yes. But so here's an interesting point that I saw someone bring up about like the whole U2 movement.
Yeah.
So not U2. No, it's not U2. U2 is the band. The Me Too.
The Me Too movement. The Me Too. Yeah. I followed it.
So Me Too, it was an absolutely necessary, very important thing. What was happening to women was horrendous. Yeah. The issue is, if you want someone to change, it has to come from them, right? They have to be like, oh, I've done bad, therefore I want to change.
Yes.
If someone doesn't see the fault in their actions, they don't change. So what happened with the Me Too movement is all the men that were too assertive and too pushy and sexually harassing people heard it and did not take it to heart.
Yes.
They did not care. And all the men that were kind of like timid, not confident, maybe needed to be a little bit more assertive,
gave them the excuse,
took it to heart. And they were like, now I'm terrified to do anything. And it's such a difficult one to balance because you go onto the internet and there's so many women who post like hateful things towards men, right? Maybe not hateful, defensive, whatever you want to call it, but kind of anti-men stuff. And people see that and like, oh, that means all girls are like that.
Yeah.
The smallest minorities are always the loudest.
Yeah.
And most people don't like that. And most people like a traditional relationship. Yeah. Most people like, especially in South Africa.
Yeah, man.
It's an extremely traditional country.
Believe me, man. I haven't met a single lady that it is over 35 and says, man, I love the grind. I love working 12 to 14 hours every day and try to be the CEO. I love it. Yeah. They work hard, they're smart, they know how to do business, they're able to add very good value to the marketplace, but I have not seen it. They want to say like, I want to do my passion, I want to work hard, I want to do this, but...
On the women in the workplace thing.
Yeah.
Finally finish that point.
Yeah.
I do think women prioritize family more, and I think it's something I've noticed that men also tend to do after an age. Yeah. Because if you look at like professional athletes, professional gamers, people that have very high intense jobs for short periods.
Yes.
Most people retire from those just to spend time with the family.
Yeah.
You know? But then you get the opposite end of the spectrum where like there's some men that just go on forever.
Yeah.
And they don't stop. And I think I always relate it back to, you used to have a time where everybody had multiple communities, where like you'd have your church, you'd have like the sports clubs you'd partake in, like maybe a charity, your job, your friendship group, and then your family. And you have all these different places where you matter. And I think the people that really push the career from the men's side is either people that desperately need the money because they want to provide for their families and they maybe come from places where money was a luxury.
Yeah.
Or it's people that really don't have that sense of community.
Yeah.
And I felt that a lot in my last job when I was trying to hustle and climb this ladder as quick as possible. I was a very lonely person at that time, and that contributed to it. And what I took was moving to a place where I couldn't focus on my job. And then it hit me like, oh no, I've been missing community for a long time. And maybe to touch on this, because you've obviously moved around a lot, and I'm sure being an immigrant is a tough thing. Like I have it tough, even though I was born here. I still always feel like an outsider. How do you kind of deal with that in South Africa? How do you feel a part of it? How do you acclimate to it?
Yeah. So a lot of people say that. So I first live in KwaZulu, right? In KZN, right? And over there, people are very, very friendly. Very, very friendly. And then they told me, man, when you go to the Western Cape, they're not as not in Cape Town. They're not as like that, right? Yes and no. Yes and no. I think that we are in a place that, okay, so the way that I grew up, it was my entire family was living 2 minutes away from me walking. I used to get into an argument when I was 12 with my mother saying, I hate you, I'm gonna leave this place and never come back. And I used to walk and go to my grandmother's house. And I say, I'm like with my backpack, right, on my toys, right, all this stuff. And then she would give me some food and say, go back, right? I think that the communities is much needed, but if you really want to have, I think, is good friend, like a good friend support group and everything like that, you gotta be someone worth supporting too. You know, does that make sense? Like you also gotta be a good friend. You also gotta make sure that you check up on them. So, for example, like Jason was going to actually come to my place for dinner. We're going to break bread together. Now I can't because then American chick is here, right? So like it's made a little bit weird in that sense. Not weird, but like just like wrong timing, right? Like in that sense. So I think that as an immigrant, it never goes away, that like stigma. So like they call me Mexico, and I say the same line: tacos, tequila, Shakira. Right?
I like that one.
That's the one, right?
We always have the joke in my friend group. What's the difference between a Mexican and a Cuban? Mexicans have rights.
Fair enough. Mexicans have toilet paper. I think that's one of the beauty in South Africa. That is the culture. That it is really that Ubuntu and that I remember that other word that it is. That is I am because you are, right? And the other one I don't remember what is the name, but it's basically there's 12 official languages, man. There's 12. Like I think that even like coming from a different culture is very, very not easy, but it is simple to feel like at home here. Because man, if you go to Japan and you try to live over there, it doesn't matter if you're living 12 years over there, you have kids, you have a house, you speak fluent Japanese. Like I had a Japanese coach, that's how I know this. You have a lady that is like Japanese, everything like that. You don't look Japanese, you'll never be like that. Over here, they'll welcome you. They really welcome you. I'm not saying that they will say like the typical line in Cape Town, it is, man, we'll go out next week, and it never happens.
Yes.
Right? And then you meet them a year later and they say the same thing. In Joburg, it is, man, we're going to Braai in 2 days, join us. And then in the morning, they're like, here's the address.
Yes.
That's the...
Yes.
So I think with like the thing with like, as an immigrant and finding like good friends and over here is two aspects. The number one is you gotta make sure that you're a good friend yourself. And also the other aspect that you gotta be okay being a little bit alone in that sense, because not always gonna happen, and it's gonna take time. Like in order to have a friendship that lasts forever, it has to be 7 years.
I also heard from someone who also moved to Cape Town a few years ago, described it quite well. Not a lot of people that are from Cape Town, like born and raised, ever left the place.
Yes.
Born here, went to school here, everything. They've never been a new person. They don't know what it's like to be the outsider country.
Yeah.
So they don't. I don't want to say they don't have sympathy, but they can't really relate to the
How?
So you do have to put in the effort from your side as well. And also, you say that about like they never make these plans. There is this thing where like people here are just more comfortable being alone.
Yes, that's very true. Very true.
They're more comfortable just spending time by themselves. And maybe it's just the society here, like when you called it the New America, I find it funny because it feels almost European here.
Yes.
You know, the nuclear family and whatnot. I do think it's becoming an easier thing just because of this mass migration of people that are coming to Cape Town.
And like Jason, right? Jason is helping with that sense, right? I think a lot.
Yes. But I do think that there needs to be, this is going to sound very critical because there's now a foreigner telling people out here how to feel, but there needs to be this embracing of people coming over, right? Because 20 years ago, Cape Town wasn't viewed as an amazing place. And then people...
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then people started flocking here, and the economy grew, and the space grew, and now it's like considered one of the best cities in the world.
Yep.
And if people didn't come here, it would possibly be another Port Elizabeth.
Yeah.
It's like, Port Elizabeth is a great place. You don't hear about people like it.
Exactly. P is like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I understand that it's tough being driven out of your neighborhoods and out of your jobs by foreign people. But understand that's not the people's fault, that's more the people, the power's fault. And try to be a little bit more receptive towards people here. Obviously much easier said than done, but that's just my 2 cents on what it's like here. But yeah, is there stuff that you wish South Africans kind of embodied from other cultures more?
No,
You think we have it
not
pretty
at
good?
all. Not at all. I think.
Are you saying that because you want a passport?
Nah, now we talking, eh? Now we talking business, right? It's like the government is listening to this, right? They're gonna look into it. No, man, South Africa is perfect. You know, it's like pop, braai boy. Man, I make the best braai boykies in town, by the way. That's how I make friends, man. You just gotta be a chef. You know, a portable role. Like, I think that Cape Town is Cape Town because it is Cape Town. Does it make sense? It's like Guatemalans are Guatemala, Mexicans are Mexicans because we are there. Like it's like changing the culture or like saying things that should be better and all that. I'm not a big believer in that. I think that you're adapting yourself, you're inserting yourself in the system, and you gotta see how that you can like connect with other people. And if you want to be more surrounded by other people, I think just invite them. Like, man, I invite people to my home, and it's not saying like, and I'm very picky, man, with the friends that I have. I have a very self-curated reality. Like Century City is my kingdom, man. I know the restaurants, I know the people here. Like I'm welcome in a lot of places. One of my favorite restaurants is Brick Lane. I get the same thing, a chicken schnitzel burger every time, man. And it's like that. Like if you really want to like have that brotherhood, right? Like you gotta be also a brother yourself. And like with guys, it's very hard because we are born with little to no value, right? Because there's like, that's how it is. Like the girl that we want, another guy wants it. Like we're all competing for like the resources in another sense. So you have to be someone also that puts in the effort, puts in the time, puts in the hours with other people, listens to them, empathetic. And if Cape Town people are not doing that, then it's your job to do that. Then it's your job to say it. And it's your job. And every time there's something bad going to happen to them, man. There's something like, there's someone I do business with. I'm not going to say the name. His father died. I met him for maybe 8 months, and he had longer business relationship and better relationships. On his father's funeral, I was the only person that I recognized there. I was the only person. Like me and my girlfriend went to she was like, "Are we going?" I was like, "We are going." Like, "Are we?" He said, like, "We are going." And then he's like, "That's the right thing to do." And then I saw him, there was no one over there. After I did that, now he calls me his Mexican brother, man. The Guatemalan brother he never had. That is, then how can, so that's what I mean. It's about putting the time and the effort. And not only that, but when shit hits the fan, being there for other people. That's like one of the best advice I can give to anyone. If you really want to make a friend, in that sense, I mean, don't wait till their father dies, right? But like, that's a joke. But be there when they're having a really tough time.
I heard it said really well. Being in community or being happy with community is being seen and being known. And to be seen and to be known, you have to see and know people.
Okay, I love that.
Another thing I want to touch on quickly that you mentioned there is you said you have to insert yourself into the culture, right? To properly integrate. I do think it's a bit of a balancing act, right? Because you don't want to forget where you're from.
Yeah.
And where you're from matters, especially in the current world where everything's kind of open borders, people immigrate all the time. We will start losing heritage if everything just becomes one big melting pot. So there's this tough balancing act of integrating, but also inviting people to celebrate your culture.
Exactly.
Also appreciating it. I may not do the best job. I'm not the most proud Cuban out there, you know. But I've seen some other Cuban friends really embrace their heritage lately, and it makes me think, you know, that's something that you should prioritize. You should remember where you're from. You should share where you're from.
You should get them drunk on your booze, man. Like tequila, it's fine. I've had like parties with the Joburg, like the Pretoria, the double brandy and Coke type of style. Like I cannot compete, but it's fine. Next time we do tequila, man. It's fine. We'll do margaritas. I'll invite you to my culture, man. We'll show you how to dance properly. It's okay, man. You socky, we salsa. There we go. So we'll salsa next time. And I've seen it every time that like I invite a South African to my apartment. Like we have a very nice balcony, and it is my world. Like there's Guatemalan flags everywhere. There's Guatemalan culture everywhere. My family are on the walls. Like it's all that. And like every time like they finish, like, man, this is absolutely amazing. I love it. I've never had a bad interaction with the 100%. Culture. I've never. So like I've been maybe just being like lucky, but I've never had a bad interaction. And I think like us Latinos, we have really I go into business a lot, right? But we really have like an edge in the marketplace, or really we are loved. We are loved. Everyone knows about Latino of three things: Shakira, Narcos, the thing with the C that I cannot mention, right? Like Netflix did a good job with that stuff, you know, like promoting, right? But like they always know about our food, the culture, and the family, the family aspect. Yeah. So I've seen that a lot of people, they love the Latino culture. Like, yeah, so that's why I say, man, they all love tacos and, you know, tequila. Every time you talk to a chick, man, if you want a line to a girl, just say, man, we're gonna go for a couple of the tequila shots or margaritas in the future. They're gonna be like, oh, I love a margarita every single time.
It's so funny you mentioned like flirting or using these lines when girls. Whenever I tell people I speak Spanish, they're like, "Oh, you should do that at a club."
Yeah.
But I always think like I don't want to be that pretentious asshole that just starts with it. You know,
Yeah,
you gotta let them ask.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah, that's a tough thing. That's a tough thing. That's a tough thing. And I think that, and this is maybe not for the podcast. I think the best solution for that is to have a. So I have the best community in the world. I am part of the best community in the world. It's called Walk Green Walk. We hike Lion's Head every Friday at 5:55 with investors, founders, entrepreneurs, builders, C-level executives, everyone, even rich people, poor people. And they always ask me like, "Where are you from?" Every single time, right? And I always say the same line: Mexico, tacos, tequila, Shakira. Even though I'm not from Mexico, because I get tired of the same question. So I just say it, and if they say like something like Shakira is not from Mexico, or like we get the or like I see them again, I say, "Man, I'm sorry, I lied. It's because I don't want to waste my time a lot."
Yeah.
I'm actually from Guatemala, born and raised over there, proud Guatemalan. And they're like, "Oh, makes sense." So like, not advice, but like, if like that's a good one. Is like to have like a 15 seconds, man. 15 seconds, like a you know, like a coco, like an opening.
Yeah.
And you just use it every time, man. And like one that is funny, witty, and just like.
Yeah. What I used to do is everyone would always ask what's August short for. And the answer is Agustin, right?
Agustin,
But
yeah.
if you say Agustin, people are like, "Oh, where's that from?" Blah blah. So what I had an ongoing joke where I just make it more and more ridiculous.
Oh wow, yeah, I love it.
And
Says the second.
Yeah. Some people will ask me like, "What August short for?" I'm like, "It's short for Keith," and that stops the questioning right there.
No, I'm gonna say it.
And if they get to know me, then I'll like reveal to them and I'll tell them more. But that's like, you know, I don't feel like sharing that history with everybody because, you know, it does get a bit tiring to talk about being an immigrant and like what it's like in Cuba and blah blah. Also because Cuba is so, the Western idea of Cuba is so off.
Cuba is amazing, man. It's okay.
It's a very...
For tourists, it's amazing.
Yes, that's the one. That's why I tell people every time. Like, we're from my family lives in the second biggest city in Cuba, Camagüey, and there's more horse carriages than cars. You know, and it's rough. Like, you talk about your family having the farm and fighting against communism. Like, my grandparents had a huge cow farm. I think it was a cow farm in Camagüey, and well, not my grandparents, my great grandparents. Yeah. And when they passed, we didn't get the rights to it because it's the States, you know. And stuff like that kind of hits me like you can't own anything. Nothing is yours.
You can't.
And people look at that and they're like, "Wow, I had no idea Cuba's like that." I'm like, "Yeah, because you don't do research."
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. I think it does get tiring to talk about it. I kind of wish people had a better understanding of it, but there's no reason for them to have a better understanding.
Yeah, it's like they asked me like Guatemala's in Europe.
Oh yeah. I've gone
in Asia?
I've gone to Asia before. It's like
Europe. It's like Europe, man.
Yes.
It's like Europe, but we're not Moldova. You know, it's like it's okay. It's like Brasov, Romania. It's like different, you know.
And I was surprised how few people know that everything in South America except for Brazil is Spanish. Because they asked me, "Do you speak Cubanese?"
Yeah, they don't know that I speak Spanish.
Yes.
Yeah, like you speak Guatemalans.
Yeah, Guatemalans.
You're like, what the fuck? I mean, it's like,
oh. The South American world is so interesting to me, especially hearing like people from South America talk about other South American countries. Yeah. Like, what the hell is happening in Chile?
Oh man, I have a couple of Chileans. It's a shit show. All that stuff is right now we're in a pivotal time in Latin America. Yeah. We're in a pivotal time that there's a lot of change happening. Latin America is very like, okay, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. In every country in Latin America is owned by not the same families, but usually like 8 to 15 to 20. I'm not gonna say 50, 100, 500. I'm not gonna say, but in Guatemala it's 15. Guatemala is 15, and so you can be a millionaire, you can make millions, but you cannot be super rich. It's like, and I've like had those like conversations at closed doors, not because I'm a millionaire or anything like that, man, but like because I have good friends and family, and they are more in the sense of. There was a conversation that we had, and the banks closed all our accounts. They did this, all this. So it's a great pivotal time that there's going to be a lot of chaos happening. Even in Argentina, what is going on, right? With El Salvador,
Venezuela,
man. And my father was in Panama. The day before it happened.
I'm just going to clarify because probably half people don't know what Panama is. Panama is literally the country attached.
Yes, it's like Panama. Colombia, Venezuela is like right, like close, and they were saying, no, we're just doing some exercises. No, we're just doing some exercises. We're doing some exercises.
Military exercises.
So he like, my father just like FaceTime me, this is what is happening. And he like saw it, like showed me everything what is going on. So yeah, man. So it's like great pivotal time, but also like Latin America has been longer than Africa is in the sense of discovered, colonized, industrialized the entire, like we've had, like, for example, we've had more history a lot in the, like recorded than a lot of African countries. Exactly, because I read a lot about the South African history, right? Because when I speak to a lot of South Africans, I'm gonna give you guys crap a little bit. You guys only talk about one thing, the apartheid. I wanna know what actually happened. I wanna talk about the Great Trek and what happened, right? Because actually I cannot say the Xhosa, right? I cannot say it, but like the Xhosa, the Zulu, King Chaka, all that stuff, right? Who passed down the Khoisan, all stuff. They helped a lot of the Afrikaners in a lot of times.
That's crazy to me. It's like not enough people know about Indian history in South Africa. Like I only found out that Indian people came here on slave trade 2 years ago. Like why was that not taught in school?
Wow.
It was not mentioned once in school.
Wow.
And it's such a significant portion of the population, but you never hear about.
Yeah,
it, you know?
yeah. And India has such a culture, man. India is like, and I'm pro, man. For anyone give me crap, I love all the stuff that happened. The British Empire, the Spaniards, all that stuff. You know, it's good and bad. It was war, man. It was war back in the day. It was tough. It was tough. We didn't have flat whites. The world got sold when we had flat whites. That's when it was. That's when we were happy, you know, when we had flat whites and cappuccinos. There were no proper flat whites before. There was not a proper barista, you know, like doing it. So people were angry, you know, so they had to do something. Fair enough. But I think that that's such a cool aspect of history, man. Like everything that happened, the Transvaal, that's incredible. And South Africa has such beautiful history. Like there's a lot of depth, but in Latin America, there's been more chaotic. There's been more chaotic in any sense. So right now, like if you really see, that's why one of the reasons why I moved to the Southern Africa, is because there's still a lot of the untapped market. Like Namibia is still. I talk to a lot of Namibian companies, like a lot of Germans, a lot of people over there, and they say one of the reasons why we're moving from Germany to Namibia is because it's the new place, the new world that we can build.
Yeah, I'm always so surprised by the progress that Ethiopia is making every single year. They've really turned themselves, because the joke like a couple of years ago was like, have you ever tried Ethiopian food? No, they haven't either. And now they're one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. You know, it's really, I do have a lot of high hopes for Africa. I think the corruption is a problem, but I think it's just because we don't know how to hide corruption yet.
Yeah. They need to hire a couple better accountants, you know, in that sense. But I think the future looks, that's what they had, right? I think the future looks bright for Africa. I do believe so. And I think this is the new frontier. And there's going to be a problem with the locals because they're going to be priced out a lot in the sense. And that is just the way that things are. There's a reason why I came here. Sorry, guys. But yeah, and there's going to be way more and more people like me. Like we see, man, us Latinos, we go anywhere. Man, we can jump walls, swim, everything, man. So
if you can't make it to America, you make it to New America. You know, that's... We try to go everywhere. Okay, I think we should try wrapping this up now. It's been so lovely having you on, Matt. Do you want to tell all the people where they can find you, social media, any websites you have, any companies? Just tell them where they can get more information about you.
Beautiful. So I'll say people that I want to connect with. I want to connect with more like business in the travel and tourism industry. A lot of safari lodges, hunting grounds in Namibia, Botswana, South Africa. We really try to help in that sense because if you are able to get those international clients, it helps a little bit with unemployment. But the place to connect me is LinkedIn. Man, sorry, I don't know my LinkedIn, the URL, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be somewhere down.
I'll put it in the description for everybody.
Beautiful. But yeah, man.
Before you leave, who's one person you'd like to see next on the interview of Argu?
Will Green. I want to see Will Green after in this podcast. I want to see what he has to say. I want to see like the advice that he has because he's one of the mentors. He's actually my mentor in South Africa. He's the one that actually started the Will Green Walks, the one that he hikes Lions Head every time. So yeah, he has more stories, he's one of the reasons why I believe that South Africa is on the good path because there's like proper nationalists that are like, man, he's building amazing things. Absolutely incredible, absolutely legend. Will Green.
Will Green, you've been nominated.
Yeah, you're screwed, man.
Any goodbye messages you want to have for the people? One last bit of advice you want to tell them?
Drink more coffee. Well, for the problems we can fix, a cup of coffee. For the ones we can't, a tequila shot.
Cup of coffee, tequila shot. Thank you so much for being on, Marco. If you've enjoyed this episode, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me for more, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.